Yes, that's right, guys. Welcome back to the channel, and today we will be installing OEM reps, OEM suspension for our 8th Gen Civic. You know what? It's really unrealistic to say this, but I am so happy to be going back to OEM spec suspension. Big shout out to the sponsor of today's video. Check out his link in the description for all the products that were sent out to us for installation and review. We got OEM spec front and rear suspension. So the beauty of this suspension kit is that the front suspension comes pre-assembled. Everything is included, from the shock to all the bushings to the rubber boot to the bump stop to all the top hats and bearings, and all you have to do is take out 3 bolts on top, 2 bolts on the bottom, and this directly swaps in. For those of you that just want to replace the shock, that is a lot more work, and I highly recommend just getting a whole combo set just like this from Amazon, and it'll save you a lot of time, money, and frustration because everything's just ready to go. It also comes with the rear shocks and the bushings here, everything you need to install. The only thing this set doesn't include, which I kind of wish it did, was the rear OEM springs and the bushings that come with the springs. The only reason I say that is because right now I'm switching from a different suspension to OEM suspension, and I don't have my OEM rear springs. So that's why in this video, the only thing I'm going to be installing right now are the front shocks onto my vehicle, just due to the overall timing of shooting this video. Now, if you are looking to do more than just shocks, don't worry. There is a lot more items that are OEM replicas that you can install on your vehicle to get that suspension riding nice and smooth, eliminate a lot of the noises, the clunking, the squeaking, by refreshing your suspension components. So we also got sent out some other goods, such as everything you pretty much need for the front end of the vehicle. You got 2 newer lower control arms with bushings pressed in, everything ready to go. This has a nice coating on it which will help prevent rust and corrosion buildup. We got ball joints. And you know, ball joints are a big thing once you're over 100,000 miles. They included a bunch of front end links for the sway bars. There's a front end link and a rear sway bar end link over here. We have inner tie rod ends as well as outer tie rod ends provided to us. So like I said, pretty much the full front end alignment is included in their items. Pretty affordable, and again, if you want to refresh your vehicle's feel, suspension, replace those old worn bushings that aren't doing you any good, check out those 2 links in the description I have for these items. We're going to be installing all of these components on our vehicle at some point in time, but again, today's video, due to timing, we're installing the shocks, and it's super easy. So let's go to the car and we'll install them, and I can't wait to enjoy the soft spring rate of OEM suspension and a smooth ride. Alright, the car is a mess because we're working on a lot of things right now, but we took out the old suspension. This is the OEM spec shock and spring, so pretty much bolt on, directly bolts onto the factory mounting areas. We're gonna pop this in on both sides. We're slowly going to put this car together. Again, very easy installation, complete bolt on. All the gaskets and rubber bushings are everywhere, mounted as appropriate. Overall, pretty good quality, it looks like. I can't complain. We'll pop them in and see how they ride, and then they'll have to pass the test of time. sourced some rear springs, OEM springs, to install with the rear shocks. Let me take you guys and show you the products. Right now I got the car lifted again. You can see those new OEM shocks, nice and fresh in their new home. Finished taking all the rear suspension out from the used setup I ran. This is free to install the new suspension. And right over here we have the new suspension, guys. These are the new shocks that come with this kit. And like I said, the springs, you retain your original springs. They're not included with the kit. I was rocking coilovers. We don't want to rock coilovers anymore. We want a nice smooth OEM ride height and suspension feel. So I actually found a parts car that was like 5 minutes from my house. We pulled these OEM springs from an LX as well, and we got the bushings on the top and on the bottom and the original spring. And I'm really glad I came across this used, because finding these new, like these bottom bushings and top bushings, that's like just the bushings alone are close to $50, and the spring is close to $50. I got the whole set with the bushings used for about $65, so much better deal. And we'll throw these on right now. Very simple installation, and I'm really happy to have a smooth OEM ride. Fucking A. Alright, with a little bit of love, we got the spring in. I got the shock ready to go with the bushings, and I'm actually reusing my original bushings, and I'll tell you exactly why I'm using my original bushings, even though it comes with bushings. As you can see, these are the bushings that arrive with the shock, which they're smaller than the factory bushings. And these bushings, when they sit inside, there's actually space in between the actual housing, and I'm not sure how much this is going to affect the fact that there's some space and wiggle room in there. It might not affect it, but I don't want to take any chances, so I'm just reusing these plates here that they provided, but I'm reusing my original bushings that are going to go just like that. All right, everything is installed, everything looks good. Springs are sitting properly. The cool thing about these is this dust boot cover is actually metal. It's not plastic like the original one, so that's a nice plus. Again, everything bolted up properly, easily. I'm gonna be reinstalling everything and hoping these give us a nice smooth ride. All right, guys, well, this is the grand finale of the OEM shocks installation. I've been running the shocks probably here for about 3 days now, the front and the rear, and I must say I'm very pleased with the results of this setup. The front and rear both feel very nice and soft, and the car still handles good. One of the first observations you can probably make from the vehicle is that the front's still sitting a little bit higher than the rear, and the reason for that is these springs are actually brand new, never used, so they still have to settle a little bit. The rear springs, again, we got used from a parts car, and therefore it sits a little bit lower than the front. That certainly should improve over the next few months as the shocks settle in. Overall, very happy with the performance, the direct bolt-on, the construction, all seem pretty good. Now, I did ask the seller here on specifications. For example, are the shocks or are the spring rates the same as OEM spring rates? And he confirmed they are indeed, and they do come with a 12,000 mile or 12-month warranty on the vehicle. So if they give you any issues, you can return them and either get a refund or a new set of shocks. Now, obviously, everybody likes a car that has a nice stance to it, and don't get me wrong, I love when this car is lowered and looks aggressive, but I also live in the city, and there's plenty of potholes and bumps and everything else on the road that you can imagine, and I really was missing over the last year that quiet, comfortable ride. And right now, we got that comfort and the quality right back. And as I'm aging here and getting a little bit older, I'm okay with this car and where it's at. We turbocharged it, we blew the motor. At this stage in its life, the car's happy, right? The engine's running OEM, and I'm going back to OEM setups for the suspension, and I think the car just is enjoying it because I'm not beating on it, I'm not modifying it more. It's just going back to its purity, natural state. So if you are interested in these shocks, I've reviewed them here. That we'll have to do the test of time to see how long they actually last and sustain that good comfortable ride. But if you are interested, the links will be in the description below, both for the shocks and all the front suspension kit. That front suspension kit will get installed into the vehicle in the upcoming month or so. We will replace everything and do it ourselves, and I'll film that whole process. And then hopefully everything is dialed in. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram as well. I am doing a turbo kit giveaway, so check out that video. We're trying to get 30,000 subscribers onto the channel, and if we do hit that, I'm gonna raffle off my turbo kit that we had installed on the R18. We're giving it away to somebody for free, so check out that video and the details for more information. Peace.